Let's talk about thoughts. Let's talk about love. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Rani and I am a mental wealth coach and holistic psychiatrist. In this video, I would love to talk about something that we all are struggling with from time to time. It's our thinking, our thoughts. Unknowingly to us, we have built a prison around us. What do I mean by that? Well, imagine that we are prisoner of our thoughts, of our insecure thoughts, of thoughts that do not serve us. So many times people have said that I worry too much, I overthink, I overanalyze. Guess what? Me too. I go there too. From time to time, we all go there. Isn't it interesting? You can ask, why do we do this? We human beings are a creature of habits. We have been given this tool of thought, and because it did not come with a manual, we just tend to overthink. No one has told us how to use thought. And of course, positive psychology teaches us to think positively or to improve our thinking. There are a lot of approaches like cognitive behavior therapy or CBT that reminds people to think positively, to shift from negative thoughts to positive thoughts. Why do we still get caught up in our thinking? Before recording this video, I was caught up in my thinking. What am I going to talk about? Do I really know what I'm going to talk about? Are people going to find it helpful? What if they don't find it helpful? So there were lots of thoughts, and I could use those thoughts to say, well, maybe I should not be recording anything about thoughts. Or maybe I know something about how the mind works and the nature of our experiences. And this is exactly what this video is about. In this video, I want to talk about the prison of thoughts. It's an invisible prison. Some people call it a comfort zone. We are living in a comfort bubble, and we believe our thinking. It's so easy to get caught up in our mind and the illusion of the mind. If the thoughts we are entertaining are positive thoughts and they help us grow and be better humans, that's great. We're not living in a prison. We have escaped the prison. And whenever we get inside the prison of our thinking, we realize, oh, I don't need to do it. And we get out of that. But it's not so for the average human being. Most people go about life carrying their prison, the mental prison with them. And we are not prisoners of walls and change, but prisoners of our thinking. You might say, yeah, I know it. There's nothing new. I have heard it so many times. I know my thinking is a problem. What I want to know is how I can fix my thinking. I get you. Our thoughts are not a problem. The fact that we think is not a problem. What is a problem is that we get into the content of our thinking and we believe the content of our thinking. We fail to realize most of the time that what we think is a reality is a personal reality. As our thinking shifts, so does our perception of ourselves, other people, and the world. And we get into a better feeling. When we get caught up in our thinking, analyze our thinking, we are making the mental prison stronger. And then we live in suffering. One of the things I've come to realize is how powerful we are. You might have heard about the story of King Midas. Whatever he touched turned into gold. We are like that. Whatever we think about and believe in becomes our reality. So we are very, very powerful creators. We don't even realize how powerful we are, and we take it for granted. In my coaching and work with my patients, I share the paradigm of mental wealth. It's a metaphor, but it comes from the teachings of the late Sydney Banks, from the 3 principles understanding. Sydney Banks had 2 powerful insights. He had what some people would call an enlightenment experience. And he started using the 3 principles to explain how human beings have any experiences. He also used the metaphor to point us to the essence of who we truly are. I have heard many people say that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. You might believe it or you might not believe it. It doesn't matter. But it begs the question, what is a human experience? How do we have a human experience? What I would say is the 3 principles are pointing us to how We have human experiences. Sydney Banks once said that if the only thing people learned was not to get scared of their experiences, that itself would change the world. What I would say is that understanding the human experience is fundamental. That's the groundwork we all need to do. When we deepen our understanding of how life works, where is my feeling coming from? Where is my thinking coming from? Is it coming from my head, from my brain? Or is there something deep for me to see here? Thought is not a prison, it's a tool. It's the greatest gift we have been given. When I say thought, I'm pointing to a spiritual energy that you can call thought. This comes from my understanding of the principles. Now, what are the three principles? Okay, why do we say principles? Principles mean it works one way. This is how it works. Think about the principle of gravity. Whether you believe in gravity or not, gravity just is. It doesn't matter. You don't have to think about gravity, or you don't need to not think about gravity or not believe in gravity. It just is. We always experience the impact of gravity. Similarly, whether you believe in the three principles of understanding or not, life only works one way. It works inside out. All our experiences are generated from within. Whether you believe it's from someone else or from the past or not doesn't matter. You can test it out. What you will find is when your thinking clears, your perception shifts. Maybe not immediately, maybe in 1 day's time, 5 days' time, but as our thinking shifts, our perception of reality shifts. But if it was the truth, it would never shift. So what I'm pointing to is that all our experiences are internally generated. We feel thought taking form moment to moment. Sydney Banks talked about the three principles: universal mind, universal thought, universal consciousness. To me, universal mind is about an intelligence behind life. It also points to the fact that we are powerful creators. Universal thought is that which gives us power to think, to create thoughts, to create experiences. Universal consciousness or awareness is our gift to be aware, to notice, to have an experience of our existence. We are spiritual beings in disguise, and this disguise of being human is very powerful. It's so easy to think who I am is this body, is my thinking, my feelings, my past, my character, and it feels as if I am this solid being. If we rely on our personal mind, our personal thinking, and what we notice with our five senses, and think this is the truth of life, we will be creating a mental prison, living behind the bars. Sometimes we experience what people call existential crisis. We ask questions like, who am I? What am I doing here? What is my life about? And we tend to ask those questions when we are in a dark place or something happens to us. Maybe the loss of a loved one, or maybe something catastrophic happens. And then we ask ourselves some deep questions. Take, for example, COVID. When the whole world was in the midst of the epidemic, some of us started asking the meaning of life. And some of the stories we hear during COVID of love and compassion and going beyond fear say something about our innate resilience. Some people really struggled during COVID, but some also woke up and communities were formed. Rich connections were formed. Some people had breakthroughs because they were asking some very powerful questions. You may ask, Rani, this is so overwhelming. I don't know what to feel, what to believe. Just tell me how to escape this mental prison. Listen for a deeper feeling or a sense of knowing. Just allow yourself to get quiet. When we are inside the mental prison, there is a lot of noise, as if there is a rock band playing very, very loud music, and music we don't even like. It's doing our head in, and there's all that noise, and we feel compelled to hear the noise. We don't hear anything different, but there is a softer music playing in the background, is like a beautiful, soulful music, perhaps that of a flute. It's a very, very gentle music, and it's already there. It's constantly there in the backdrop. It reminds us of our true essence. And when we decide to just listen to that music that is very subtle, very quiet, we feel grounded. There's a feeling of knowing that there is something deeper. We might not be able to articulate it, but we can only feel it. When we touch that space, or when we fall into that space or experience this space, we then realize that we don't need to keep creating the same mental prison and keep suffering. This might or might not resonate with you, and it's okay. It's a feeling. You can say it's a feeling of presence. It's a feeling of easiness. For us to break through the prison of thoughts, we really need to see what thoughts are made of. Nothing to be scared of. It's a spiritual gift. It's a formless energy. We did not create it, but we create our reality by using or misusing this gift. And so my invitation for you is to slow down. You can get caught up in the noise, or you can tune into a deeper feeling for you. If you're hearing this and you're resonating, this message is for you. I love you, and you were meant to see something profound even in this simple video.